Given this graph behind me, would you be able to find the limit? Let's start by finding the limit of our function f of x as x approaches 2. What we notice is that as the function gets closer to 2 from both sides, the height gets closer and closer to 2. Therefore, our limit would equal 2. Now, what about as we approach 0? Well, as we get closer and closer to the y-axis, we see that my height of the function gets closer and closer to 4. What about the limit as x approaches 0? Well, looking at x equals 0, our y-axis, our function seems to get closer and closer to a height of 4. Therefore, our limit would be 4. If we wanted the function's height at x equals 2, we would actually say that that's equal to 4. Note the limit was 2 because my y values approached 2 as I got closer to x equals 2, but the y height is actually defined up above at 4. We'd also go ahead and say f of 0 is 4. The limit as I approach negative 2 from the right side would be negative 3. The limit as we approach negative 3 from the left side would equal 1. The limit as I approach negative 3 from the right side would be d and e, because as we get closer and closer to the right side of negative 3, we see all this oscillation happening, and therefore we're unable to know exactly what value we are truly approaching. And since we saw that the limit from the left side and the right side were not equal, we would then say the limit as x approaches negative 3 would not exist. Looking for the function's value at x equals 4, we would say that's undefined because we have a hole here at x equals 4 with no point filled in. Now, what about the limit as we approach 4 from the right side? Well, as we get closer and closer to 4 from the right side, we see that it approaches a height of 0. Similarly, as we approach 4 from the left side, we see that as I get closer and closer to x equals 4, my height gets closer and closer to the x-axis, or y equals 0. Therefore, our limit would be 0. And since the left and right side limits were both 0, the limit as x approaches 4, two-sided, would equal 0.